Welcome back to the Supes channel. My name is Supes Ramos, and on this channel I aim to entertain, inform, and inspire using the topic of discussion as always, which is superheroes. So you guys are here for one thing and one thing only. I just got back from watching Fantastic Four. I went to the world premiere last night, and now I've woken up this morning, fired up this camera, and let me tell you guys first and foremost, we won. The movie's fantastic. The movie's amazing. And honestly, ever since I've seen it, I've had so many conflicting feelings in the best way possible because I am happy and I'm fulfilled with the movie that I saw. However, I am equally as heartbroken that we are going to have to wait a year and a half until Avengers Doomsday. As many of you guys know, going into this film, we knew it was going to plant seeds for Doomsday, and because it's the last Marvel film before we get that movie, and holy cow, the post-credit scenes. This video won't contain any spoilers for my Fantastic Four reaction, so don't worry about that. But, you know, yes, the post-credit scene does post-credit scene, and there will be so much to talk about when the film hits theaters this opening weekend. And so, you know, when it comes to the film itself, guys, I had such a great time with this movie. It's hard not to smile and enjoy myself when I'm watching four characters that I grew up loving come to life on the big screen, and their chemistry is through the roof. The dynamics are perfectly adapted. And you know, when it came to the casting of the Fantastic Four, the one casting I was most iffy on was Pedro Pascal's Reed Richards, because Pedro is one of the biggest actors in the world. He's quite literally in everything. He has 3 movies out in theaters right now. And so when it came to casting him as Reed, I always felt like it was more of like a, all right, let's just get a big name to play this character instead of casting someone who just like perfectly fits Reed. But I could not have been more wrong. And having seen the film, his performance as Reed is my favorite performance of the entire movie. He so perfectly, first of all, he has like an accent and he doesn't speak the way Pedro normally speaks. And just when it came to his performance as Reed, he perfectly brought to life a character that carries the weight of the world on his shoulders, a character that would literally destroy, like allow his brain to destroy himself because he's always constantly having anxiety and thinking about all of these different ways that things can go wrong and the people that he loved can get hurt. And so it's through his family that he's able to survive, because they are the ones who really ground him, who remind him that everything's going to be okay, that give him that sense of hope and faith. But throughout the film, when he's dealing with someone like a Galactus whose presence is felt throughout the whole movie, let me touch on Galactus real quick. Galactus is perfectly done, guys. I really truly wish we got more screen time of him actually being on screen, but even when he's not on screen, his presence is felt throughout the whole movie, because Galactus brings an insane level of dread and destruction everywhere he goes, and that weighs on someone like a Reed Richards. That weighs on the rest of the Fantastic Four, especially now that they're a family with a newborn and Franklin is into the mix. So like I mentioned, all of the cast are absolutely phenomenal, and this is one of those movies where you could just have these characters sitting in the living room and I will be entertained because their dynamics are just that entertaining. The cast bring them to life so well. And now for the technical aspects, this is one of the most beautiful looking Marvel movies I've ever seen in my life. And I'm really happy that even though this is a film about Galactus coming to Earth and destroying Earth, they still did a great job at integrating space elements. And the Fantastic Four spend a lot of time in space in this film. And so that is something I really enjoyed. Beautifully looking film, and the music is something I cannot praise enough, guys. It feels like I was watching a freaking Star Wars movie at times, because Michael Giacchino is just going off with the score, and it's not just the main Fantastic Four theme, no, it's the music throughout the entire movie. It's present in every scene, it elevates every scene, and it brings the movie to life more than anything else, really. So don't get me wrong, guys, I love Fantastic Four. I can't wait to rewatch this movie, but you know, I always gotta be honest, I always gotta give you guys the entirety of how I'm feeling. And if I had to nitpick anything, it would be, I feel like they showed way too much in the marketing, that the film did feel a little bit predictable. And so that is something that definitely altered my experience. So if you're someone who is going in blind, continue to go in blind. Don't watch any of the trailers, don't watch any of the TV spots, because from everything they've shown and the way they've marketed the film, it does feel a little bit predictable when you're watching the movie, but that didn't necessarily like hinder my enjoyment of the movie itself. Everything was still money, and it was still a lot of fun to see, and there's still like just a lot of stuff to enjoy that they kept for the theater experience. However, I did feel like it might have been one of those cases where they did show a little bit too much and were a little bit too clear with the marketing as to like what the story is. And you know, as a fan, we dissect all of this stuff, so it is a little bit too predictable for me. I feel like going into Fantastic Four, so many of us already knew that this movie was gonna be good. You know what I'm saying? This isn't one of those cases where Marvel has a film on their hands where they just put out great trailers, but then the movie turns out to be bad. No. We all just had such high confidence in Fantastic Four because Marvel knows this is one of those projects they just could not mess up, and they definitely treated it that way. You know, the Fantastic Four are some of the greatest Marvel characters of all time, and this movie uses that to its advantage, and it knows it, and it flexes that, and that's a part of what makes it so good. We knew this movie was gonna be good, but how good is it? You know, is it better than Superman? Is it better than a lot of the other Marvel films we've gotten? So, the way I'm feeling right now, I think it's top 15 MCU. And that is a compliment. Some people might take that the wrong way. Bro, the top 10 MCU films to me are like all damn near 10 out of 10s. I adore all of those movies with like everything in my being. And so I do think it could potentially be debatably top 10. But for me, right now it's sitting at confidently top 15 MCU. And again, that is such a compliment considering we've gotten like, you know, 40, 50 MCU projects over the course of this universe. And I don't think it's better than Superman. I do think Superman is better. I also think Thunderbolts is better. Like, Thunderbolts, I don't know about you guys, that film just had such a special place in my heart and hit me in so many different ways that I do still have Thunderbolts over Fantastic Four. However, Fantastic Four is still extremely enjoyable. I can't wait to rewatch it, and I do have it in that top 15 MCU range, whereas for something like Thunderbolts, I do have Thunderbolts in my top 10 MCU. Don't care what you guys think. That's my opinion. That's how I feel about it. And Superman is still my favorite superhero movie of the year. That just felt like a generational moment, especially something that DC fans have been needing, whereas like Marvel fans, we've been kind of like spoiled over the course of the past like 20 years of being MCU fans. And so I'm just really freaking enjoying where we're at. You know, DC is coming, like they're here, they're popping off. Marvel is coming, they're here, they're popping off. And now we're looking forward to just such bright futures for both Marvel and DC. And again, like I said, after this film comes out, there will be a lot to talk about. The hype for Avengers Doomsday is going to be through the roof, and I cannot wait to take you guys with me on this journey of building up to Doomsday, because the wait is going to be tough, but we're going to get through it together. So with that being said, those are my thoughts on Fantastic Four. We got a banger, guys. Like, I'm not thanking the casting crew today. I mean, I guess I'm thanking them for creating a great and fantastic movie and bringing these characters to life, but you guys can rest. For those of you who have been waiting on my reaction, we won. Enjoy this film opening weekend. And with that being said, make sure to like this video, comment down below, subscribe, and hit that bell notification on my channel to get notified for future videos. And with that being said, thank you guys for watching this one. I love you guys 3000, and I'll see you guys next time.